Into my head when I was 5 years old and starting go-karts. He said, I don't care who's around you, you drive your own race.
It's like the golfers play the course. Start playing the other golfers. You have no control over what they're going to do.
Nope.
Now that's what's wrong with my golf game. I've been waiting all day for somebody to tell me what's wrong with the golf game. Boat driving I can do. Golf is not so good.
Well, my golf game's just fine. I have a 2 handicap, my left one and my right one. I can't seem to do anything with it.
That's like the guy says his handicap is he stands too close to the ball after he hits it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I love it, those fan jobs I seem to be known for. I'm going to be on one of those sports bloopers shows one day, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, what about the water? Have the conditions changed very much in, say, the last hour and 15 minutes since we've seen a boat?
Not at all. They look about the same as they were about an hour ago. They've been perfect since the Blue Angels, literally. The wind conditions are excellent. But let's talk about the traffic. You get 7 boats out here. That's a lot of boats on the creek, fellas. That's a lot of churning around, even though only a couple of them, or 3 or 4 of them rather, really have a shot at it. The other guys are going to be out there just putting lumps everywhere. You're not real thrilled with that, Scott. That's not a...
I'm really not. At the time that we put that into play, we were having a lot of breakdowns. And if you notice today, we've had 1 boat breakdown, 1 boat not score points. When is the last time you've been in a Seafair race and have seen so many boats complete all of their laps and actually finish the heats? And we did that. They only pay for 6 spots, but the 7th guy, if a guy broke down, he would move up. They need to get rid of that rule. It's going to be real rough.
Back in 1990, so far, most of the fleet is above the 70% completion ratio for all heats, which is unheard of. It's never happened before.
Interesting, the schedule from now on August the 26th, they go to Milwaukee. That's a Milwaukee Budweiser Splash. September 9, they're in Kansas City. September 16th, San Diego. September 23rd, out on Lake Mead at Las Vegas. And then all the way to November, the Pearl Harbor Outrigger Hotel's Top Gun Hydra Fest. So there are 12 big races. This is number 7, 5 to go. And speaking of getting ready to go, we've got about 8 minutes till the championship heat, and we'll be back for the 1990 Rainier Cup on Lake Guadalupe.
And 24 volt, but right now they're winding down and very close to the time limit. As you can see, they're still working feverishly on it right now, but we're winding down at the time they've got to be on the lake here, and we'll watch it in the next couple of minutes.
Well, if that boat goes out, the U7 Thor Racing, Jerry Hopp gets to drop into the number 7 spot, and there will be no alternate. Rick, do you have a comment from your vantage point?
We're watching Jim Harvey right now. They're sitting here, the boat, the driver's in, they're ready. They're getting ready to pull a pin on the other boat. If that boat does pull, they're ready to run.
Well, we're now 30 from the 5-minute gun. The final heat of the 1990 Rainier Cup is brought to you by Rainier Brewing Company. Around here, it's Rainier. And by your local Northwest Ford dealer, where you can buy America's best-selling cars and trucks. This is the countdown to the 5-minute gun, and you'll hear it go off in the background in just about 2 seconds. There it is, 5 minutes till the championship heat. Good working with Scotty Pierce and Mike Fitzsimmons, who are down at the start-finish line on the barge. Rick Corella is in the pits, Steve Thomas in the pits, Ron Callan in the pits, and our great crew presented some wonderful pictures today of this 1990 Rainier Cup. Mike, Scotty, take it down there.
Well, as we see the Winston Eagle moving out onto the race course this morning, the Winston had the benefit of a little bit of wind and chop to move into, headed south as it came out of the pits. It does not get up on plane very well at all. As a matter of fact, the comparison of the Miss Budweiser leaving the pits gets up with such authority you can't believe it. So does the Circus, but this Winston Eagle labors to get up on plane. And in fact, there isn't much wind to head into now, so it's going to be a little bit of a problem. Look at there, they're having a little bit of a problem with the Oh Boy Oberto's canopy. The Oh Boy Oberto Miss KUB just got a new lease on life because her sister ship was having some electrical difficulty, which makes her a number 6 starter and a legal starter, but the canopy was sticking. Now it looks as though they've gotten it fixed. The crew is now scurrying off the boat so the Mark Tate can get it fired up.
This should move Mark Tate up into the front line with the Oberto Wild Waves not being able to make the show. So rather than being penalized 15 seconds, he should be able to start with the other 5 boats, and he'll have a bona fide chance to win the boat race.
That's right. In fact, the Thor will have to hold back as the 15-second starter at this point. Nobody so far, Scott, has stood on it on the front chute as we had anticipated somebody might do. Everybody. I mean, now this might just be a little mind. Now Chip looks like he might stand on it. Yeah, he's going to come down. Well, not even he is coming down all that hard.
He just got real wild in the corner, and it might have tempered him a little bit. He's going to save it all for the 5 laps. But I really think in the next minute or so, you're going to have somebody's going to have to take my advice and charge down that front chute.
Well, I should think so as well, and it's got to happen, but it thus far has not happened, although it now looks as though Mr. Kropfeld might just take your advice. He's coming out of the west turn right now. There he is, looking real strong. Let's see if he doesn't put the hammer down and see if he can't get a timing run here at the start. He looks like he's starting kind of on the wide outside, which is a little unusual for Jim to experiment with that one. No, but he does put his foot in it.
A little bit.
But he doesn't really put the hammer down. Nobody has.
Jim is backing down, so.
Tommy's just continuing to drive around on the #1 lane of the course. And I'm sure that he thinks that is the strategy that he's going to be using to try to capture that #1 lane. Somewhere along through here, we will see Chip Hanauer go through the infield and try to sneak that from him.
He's got his sights on Tom right now.
He certainly does. That's the guy he's worried about, Steve.
Yep, that's it.
Well, now Mark Tate is putting his foot in a little bit and trying to find a start lane, but it appears that in the pit area, if they can beat the 1 minute gun, then the Wild Waters, that's the Oh Boy Oberto presents Wild Waves, I should say, is moving onto the race course too, trying to get fired up, and the engine does turn over. They've got to be on the course and running in a planing attitude by the 1 minute gun, which gives about 56 seconds to do that. There's enough time if you can get onto the race course. Mitch is trying to get the boat up on plane and get moving as quickly as possible. So far, not yet on plane, pushing an awful lot of water.
Boy, they did some fast work, though. Yeah, it's an all-volunteer crew. What a job.
Still having a little bit of difficulty getting the boat up. It's not yet broken loose, not enough wind to head into there as he heads south either. There he goes. Now he breaks loose. Okay, that slides the KUBE Oberto boat into the alternate position, and we'll have to back off. Now look at Chip riding slow and almost off plane on the inside as he picks up a cat and mouse game with Tom Deeth. Nobody has stood on it with the exception of Winston, and that was kind of a, maybe 60-70% of the throttle type of approach.
Tom picks up just a bit now to the front chute. And look who's dogging both Circus and Budweiser.
They're all
George
starting
Woods
to keep an
Jr.
eye on it now. All right, now Chip Hanauer is trying to decide now where he's going to plant that Circus as they're about a minute away. It's the 1 minute gun.
There it is.
And they're all about where you'd want them to be, perhaps just a little faster than where you'd want them to be, Scott.
Look on the inside.
Jimmy Cropfield's at the inside. You know, he did it again. He's got the inside. Chip's in lane #2. Tommy's going to come up alongside. He's going to be about in the middle of the field, and George is going to be outside of him as they round the corner.
Kropfeld, there he is. See, this guy has this ability to do this, and no matter how hard somebody else tries to steal an inside lane, Jim Kropfeld has this claim on that real estate. He's been doing that since his early Budweiser days, and he is now on the buoy row. That's the bright red boat that you see there, the fluorescent colored boat that you see going around the buoy row. Looks like the Budweiser and the Pringles are going to be more outside. Here comes your start now. It will be the Winston on the inside. Way outside is going to be the Mr. Pringles. Jim presents Mr. Pringles, and about the 6th lane is going to be the Budweiser. Circus has got the 2 lane and a little bit better advantage over the Bud. Here they come.
Tommy Deeth's going to lace this start.
He sure did.
He's way out
Gorgeous
front.
start.
That's a Tom Deeth River Rat start. As he goes down to that first corner, Tom Deeth and the Miss Budweiser has a great start, but the Circus is on the inside with a lane advantage and moving strong through that lower corner. That's the Circus. They're going to come out of the corner just about even up. Budweiser has just a slight lead now as the Circus puts the hammer down, and she does have good straightaway speed, good acceleration, staying with the Budweiser. Only a couple, 3 boat lengths, only a second's tick apart.
It appears that Chip has some top end on Tommy Deeth, but Tommy has it off the corner, but Chip has position on the racetrack, so this is going to be one heck of a boat race.
We have a great turn between Tom Deeth and Chip Hanauer, and they come out side by side now. Side by side across lap number 1, the speed, 143.99 for the Bud, and 142.85 for the Circus. Down into the lower corner, here's your boat race. 1-2-1-2 all year it has been. Circus still with the track advantage. Chip Hanauer, the adrenaline flowing. Tom Deeth on the outside. Both boats have good acceleration through the corner. Both boats are side by side off the pin. This time the Circus gets a little more acceleration. Chip Hanauer gets a little advantage on the accelerator this time up the back chute, but Tom Deeth has not let go of him, not at all. He's right there beside him as they go into that north turn now.
Boy, a race for the fans. I love it. Look out.
The Circus bouncing and cruising through the corner, but Tom Deeth is even wider on the outside. Chip tried to take him to the beach and got some advantage on it. Got some on it, Scotty. He really did that time.
He really put it on, Tommy, coming through that corner. And Pringles and Winston in 2nd and 3rd, or 3rd and 4th rather, have one heck of a boat race going.
We've got a great boat race for 1 and 2 and for 3 and 4. There's your 1-2 race now as you're going to the lower corner on lap number 3. Speed for lap number 2, the Circus 143, the Budweiser 136. Out of the corner now. Chip Hanauer has got some advantage. He laid another corner on Tommy down there too, trying to take him to the boom this time and pull additional distance on him. Down the straightaway, the Circus is getting a pretty good ride. Let's watch as she enters this north turn. No, this is where she takes a pounding. The water is miserable up there.
Miserable water. It appears Chip is getting stronger and Tommy is not getting it. He's actually slowing down somewhat, and
yes,
I'm really quite surprised.
Chip has the advantage over him definitely this time again. The boat handling is good for both boats. There's Tom D sliding out of the corner behind Chip Hanauer. And there's your race for third. And whoa! Now it looks like the Winston Eagle just struck a buoy. Just struck a buoy in the north turn. If he didn't dislodge it, it's still a legal
Pringle's
marker.
wing is flat fallen off.
Pringle's has lost its tail fin, has lost the horizontal, but he's still racing.
And he's still keeping up with Jimmy on the inside. That's what's amazing about it.
Absolutely. The buoy has been struck, but it's obviously not dislodged. But the Winston Eagle's got a lot of damage on its cone. The metal cone, the exhaust cone is damaged on that boat. Meanwhile, let's pick up your leaders. Chip Hanauer and Tom Deeth. And they are in traffic. Chip is at least in the north turn. He's got a whole lot of boats out there to drive around. And he goes outside of them. Coming down to end lap number 3, Chip Hanauer, the Circus laps both the Wild Waves and the Jackpot.
Chip has really stretched his lead out now.
Very definitely has. Still got a great duel going in the north turn now between the Pringles and the Winston. A terrific duel between George Woods and Jimmy Kropfeld. Kropfeld on the inside and Woods on the outside. Meanwhile, in the lower corner, your Circus is your leader and stretching it away commandingly. Budweiser in second place does not seem to have it today. Does not seem to have what it'll take to beat Circus. The real thrilling race, though, is between the second and third place boats on the course. This one, Winston Eagle, going through the lower corner now, and outside of her, and that's George Woods, of course, in the Mr. Pringles.
Gentlemen, they may redesign Mr. Pringles with the contraptions falling all over that boat. The boat is caved in and he's running quite well.
Yes, he's got parts flying everywhere, and yet the boat continues to give chase and has now overtaken the third place position. Lap number 4 coming down now to end for the checker now, rather, for Chip Hanauer. He gets it. Lap number 4 to end for the KUBE. Checkered flag to Chip Hanauer, winner of the Rainier Cup. But your battle for second and third continues, or for third and fourth rather, continues to be. And is it going to be a drag race? It will be. And the Pringles is trying to steal the second place or third place victory. And gets it.
Yeah, he does.
Despite the fact that he hasn't got any pieces left, he still gets it.
I think it's possible they radioed Jim and told him he'd be penalized a lap for hitting that buoy, and he chose to back off. But George Woods really drove the daylights out of that boat.
Sure
with no way.
He really did, and I'm surprised that it handled as nicely as it did with all those parts missing.
Maybe they had to leave it off. Maybe that was what was wrong with it.
Budweiser has come in already and pulling about 75 to 80 yards offshore, and Tommy has popped the hatch. And probably the first guy with a big wooden spoon is going to be Bernie Little to meet him and spank him to say what happened to you out there, because Bernie cannot stand to lose. He did not want to lose this particular race, and now it's 4-3 on the year, and these guys are going to battle it all the way down to Las Vegas.
That's true, Wayne. The worst part of the whole deal for the Budweiser camp is losing the 200 points that they gave up today. He lost to him in 2 heats, and so the lead goes down to 763 points. And believe me, that's very doable for Chip Hanauer with 5 events left on the tour.
I'm not sure whether the Winston Eagle lost a lap because the buoy remains in place as a marker. Was not dislodged, but it was punched. We'll double check on it. Typically, if the buoy is dislodged and there's no longer a marker, there's a penalty. But you can get penalized for striking, and I think he did.
Good picture of Tom there a moment ago as he stands up on the canopy and just waits for the boat to float into shore. The Circus, Chip Hanauer. His camp is just jumping all over down there. They couldn't be happier. And, of course, he wins it back-to-back here in Seattle.
That first lap of 143.99 was not a record lap, of course. The Bud still holds the record for competition lap on this course at 144.308, said earlier.
Circus crew giving George Woods a round of applause now because they know that he ran really a beautiful race, picked up third place, and the back end of the boat looks like that he backed under a loading dock that was a little too low.
Yes, Yeah, definitely. The horizontal is gone and the vertical is lean in ready for the road.
That's right. Looks like they folded them up in anticipation of getting out of here in the traffic.
Well, you know, as we said earlier, all of us brain surgeons that are experts sitting here on the beach thought that the guy that had the inside was going to get the advantage. And, you know, Tommy had a much better start than anyone on the racetrack, had a clear advantage. Michael running to the first turn. Chip is known for being a tenacious bulldog, and he never gave up, and he ran the guy down.
For all intents and
Tom
purposes,
the entire way.
He had the inside, too, because he was able to outrun the Winston Eagle. There's the evidence, folks.
It's still there. It's still a buoy.
Yep.
We have Mike Noonan coming down to give you the answer on that particular matter of striking the buoy. But in any event, Chip Hanauer, there he is, the man of the hour.
Mike,
successfully defends.
What's the penalty on the buoy if he hits it? He loses a lap.
One
or
lap.
He's disqualified. Loses a lap. Okay. So he is unofficially finished 4th, so he could drop from there.
Yes.
You know, it appears that Chip Hanauer is really a different driver at home. He's a great driver wherever he goes, don't misunderstand. But he, the Winston Eagle has got some serious trouble here. Maybe our pit reporters are down there?
All right, we'll find out. Jimmy Kropfeld with the Winston Eagle. Gentlemen, if there's anybody by that boat, jump right in and tell us. All right, Ron Callan is over at the Bud Camp. We'll be going there in a few moments. Gentlemen, just notify me when you're set and ready with somebody. There's the Winston Eagle, as you can see.
A lot of tailpipe damage on that boat. You must have gotten into a wall of water in the first turn.
Somewhere.
Let me ask you this, could running over the buoy when it breaks in half and the top half of the buoy coming off, could that bang into that turbine?
Well, it's styrofoam, Wayne, and I doubt it would do that type of damage. I think it would take water to do that type of damage.
What's the base of it, Bud? Is it heavy metal or is it styrofoam all the way down in the water?
It's styrofoam all the way, then they weight it about 20 feet down.
Okay.
And I
it
believe
looks like
he
water
hit
damage then.
that buoy with the inside sponsor, left sponsor.
Boy, the circus crowd is going nuts over here, gentlemen, as Chip gets a little bit closer to the dock. Now they're going to pour a giant bottle of Rainier, the sponsor of the 1990 Rainier Cup, probably filled with ice water, on top of Chip as soon as they get a shot at him. Circus, the winner. The final heat of the 1990 Rainier Cup was brought to you by your local Northwest Ford dealer, where you can buy America's best-selling cars and trucks, and by the Rainier Brewing Company. Around here, it's Rainier.
He won't really he won't do that for the...
All right, let's go back to Mike.
Well, we saw the Winston Eagle definitely plaster a buoy in the north turn there. Michael, did you assess a penalty there?
No, we didn't. At that point, we have the rule says damage, dislodge, or destroy, and we use the damage. I let the turn judge determine was the buoy still functional buoy. He said about the top foot was knocked off of it, a few little pieces of styrofoam that we can see from here, but it wasn't enough to take it completely out, so we let him go with that. It wasn't really getting away with anything. It's not destroyed.
Let's take a look at it when she clobbers that buoy there.
Okay.
And obviously, this is the rule that, of course, caused all the controversy back in 1956 with Mr. Muncie. Watch as we come through here. The Winston Eagle, that's the red boat. Now watch what happens. He gets there very, very tight, and boom, there goes the buoy. But the lower half of the buoy remained intact, and it remained a legitimate marker. The other drivers could see it and round it, and did.
Yeah.
And so
I think what we use, Mike, your buoys used to be large inflatable, or they had an inner tube on them. When you hit them, they sunk and they were gone, and they're no longer a factor.
Let's go back down to Rick Corella.
Heat 2A, but now you went out there and really showed some smoke, huh?
The boat just handled so great, you know. I just couldn't be happier. Dave Vilwalk, Dan Walters, Don Parkin, Mark Smith, Butch Corning, they just gave me such a great race boat to get through this rough water with.
Back-to-back victories here on the lake. You went into the turn a little bit behind the Budweiser, and you fought it out and caught him all the way back up. Could you feel it all the way through there? Did you have the power?
Well, I had the power, and more importantly, I had the boat handling. I could use the power. A lot of times you have the power, but you can't. The boat's flying around so bad in the rough water, you can't use it. But they gave me such a nice, stable boat that I could just go blowing through the corners, and it worked great.
Did you feel you had a little more to show here in Seattle after Pasco, Chip?
Yeah, because we were ready to win in Pasco. We were poised, and we were ready to win, and I think we showed them here.
Okay, Chip.
That final heat, did the rough water become a factor?
Yeah, I think it became a factor to our benefit. You know, we were hoping for rough. They're a little better in the dead smooth stuff, but I think we're a little better in the rough stuff.
Tremendous victory. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Wayne.
Sensational it was, and we'll have Chip on the review stand in a few minutes to accept the award for winning this 1990 Rainier Cup. And the fans are happy about it. It was a 2-boat race. They finished 1-2. We talked about it for weeks to come. They go to Syracuse, they go to Detroit, they go to the Tri-Cities, and they're the top 2 boats, and they finished that way. Now, what happened with the Bud? Well, we've got Tom Deeth, and Ron Callan's got him.
Thank you very much, Wayne.
Man, it was fat.
Wayne, I'll tell you, I've got Tom Deeth with us. Tom, you had some problems in the water. What happened?
Well, about a lap and a half into the race, it started vibrating really bad, and it just kept getting worse and worse. At first, I thought it might be a gearbox going away, but what had happened, it was the propeller broke, I guess.
All right, let's go through the race a little bit. First lap, you guys are neck and neck. When do you think it happened?
Oh, it happened in, right in the second lap somewhere is when it started shaking really bad, and then it kept getting worse. In the fourth lap, it broke completely, and steering wheel got about big around as a football. It was shaking like crazy. I was just hoping that I could finish.
All right, so I guess Chip wins in his home court today. You weren't running 100% though.
Well, he was prepared. He won, and it's a great victory for the circus team. The Budweiser, we tried, and we'll try again next time.
Now I guess you're ahead by about 763 point total. So you've got quite a few races to go. It should be a good finish for the season.
Yeah, we've got 5 races left, and we're just going to keep on plugging.
We're not going to give up, that's for.
All right, Tom Deeth, Miss Bud problems today. Wayne,
Ron, thank you. If you can get Ron Brown, the
crew chief,
or if you can get our camera to round back and take a look at that back end of that boat, that would be kind of fun to do, and we'll come back to you in a couple of minutes. Right now, though, let's take another look at that finish through the Kits photo finish. And you see it, the Circus back-to-back winner of the Lake Washington Seafair Rainier 1990 Cup. And there's the old pink Mike, and Scott, you can do the same. It looks like they're back there taking the check on it, right, doesn't it?
Look at the wheel there.
Looking at the propeller. Does not appear. Yep, there it is. It's on the top picture on your screen. Outside edge of it is gone. When that happens, these are thrown far out of kilter. The vibrations will just kill you.
3, you call them flukes on that?
So
The first place boat then was your Miss Circus is your winner over
perfect day.
Chip Hanauer, 1,200 points today. 200 that
is
on the Miss Budweiser.
place was the Budweiser. Third place.
Go to the Jiff Presents Miss Singles, and a tenacious diving effort, a part of Woods, and that 1/4 overall goes to this boat. They've got damage. Find out what caused. It looks like it was a little water damage taken on corner, but that's your 4th boat overall. And your 5th boat overall, that will be Miss KUBE. So that's how they finish on the 90 Seafair Cup, and we'll be back with more in a moment.
Tom actually finished the race. Just describe what exactly happened.
Well, Ron,
Looks like we had really good horses in the
first turn and pulled Chip good, and even back stretching the lead. Time just started vibrating, so steering wheel grew to be as big as it normally is, and he felt a real vibration and said he just had to back off. He was
thankful to finish. Looks like
about 2/3. One of the
3
blades, one of the blades virtually got dropped, so it was an even finish. He was still able to run as hard as he did, but it looks like the wing got loose and he had a hell of a vibration. I'm thankful that Tom could break in one piece.
The first time this had something like this.
Yeah, we've had the good CR's breakage in it, but prop was 1/4 for us. It won the gold record at 106. They ran 58 the other day, so it was overdue. We've been at every heat, but it's just one of those fatigued and sad for the fans.
Yeah,
It happened to break here in the final heat. We were to win this one. Town. I can assure you, colors will be one of those things, and it's a shame for the fans here, but we'll try hard.
All right, good luck in Milwaukee.
Thank you.
All right, Tom Rabbit, crew chief of Bud. Let's head it back to Cody. Wayne.
Thank you. Very nice. Good explanation. Hey, Ron, when one of the blades off, I would turn it over to automobiles and figure on about 3 8 cylinders. An 8-cylinder automobile when that happens. And your steering has to be a problem with good picture. Chopper 7 with line hanging out of copper as he's all there getting some pictures from up above Clark's. Of course, the folks in the Hanauer get on the presentation stage do not see Hanauer yet, so we'll wait till he's before we're there because he's out of the hour. He'll be collecting hardware. The Circus Circuit, owned by the same name gambling down in Los and in Rainier. And that company is open Excalibur street across from the Tropic, which is, I guess, the biggest resort in the world. And out of question about the other night, well, maybe the folks from the circus will put Excalibur boat and they'll be racing again after ship. They back up, and Bud does too, and to get them all in the water and send them. Today it was all circus, a magnificent drive by Chip Hanauer, getting the right lane at the right time. The Bud, of course, very competitive, whole racing for about, what, a lap, and all of a sudden, something, whether it's just simply stress, which most likely it is, that blade on that propeller goes
With about 2.5
and you can't run that boat straight ahead or
any power with
that much of a
gone.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back for the presentation.
Well, I guess what happened? Well, we had a 4th place finish. I was running 3rd there in Georgia, and I got a 4th.
About
The damage.
Jim, where did that occur?
I have no idea. On a race course somewhere. I have no idea. No idea where that happened at all. Well, let me put it this way. If you took your car and got in and shoved it off of the side of a 10,000-foot mountain, then it landed down 10,000 foot later, and I walked up and said, "Where'd you get that dented fender?" What would you tell me? You know what I mean? I mean, it's so rough out there, and you know, who knows where it happened. It's just probably water pressure, I guess. Well, I didn't even get to look at it yet. Somebody said there's a hole in the boat, you know, and I'd assume water pressure did it somewhere, and the boat started feeling a little slow at the beginning of the 4th lap, so maybe around that. I took kind of a little flight down here going into the first turn on the 4th lap and got up pretty high. It may have occurred then. This happened to a boat just down the way of the jackpot earlier today. They hit a roller and damaged some outside of their craft. I guess it was really rough out there today. Well, you know, when I went out, I got on the radio and I said, "Boy, it's really smooth out here." And of course, after you get 7 of us out of there, it just gets so rough you can't believe it. You've been kind of snake bit the last couple of weeks, Jim. I mean, you've had some great starts at times and just hadn't gone your way. Well, we get great starts, and you know the Winston guys were trying, but boy, the bad luck just bites us all the time. Jim, thanks very much for taking time for us. Thank you very much. Jim Cropfellow, the Winston Eagle. Mike and Wayne.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. We see the circus crew coming up onto the stand looking for Chip Hanauer. There he is. So in just seconds, we'll go to the presentation stand as Chip is getting a lot of applause and a lot of well wishes from the crowd around. Now he'll come up on the stand, and a big hug from somebody in the crowd I can't recognize with their back to us, but Chip will get a nice round of applause as he takes the 2 or 3 steps up on the stand in just a moment. I see Mayor Norm Rice is up there from Seattle. Chip's happy about this one. Look, this guy's just ecstatic. Let's go to that presentation stand now and hear all of the magic words after this 1990 Rainier Cup and Chip Hanauer the winner. We'll give them the signal and get them underway.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jesus Sanchez, president of Seafair, and I'd like to welcome you to the Northwest's finest hydroplane racing in the world. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Bruce Vaughn, representing the Rainier Company, Rainier Brewing Company, that is. How is that? The Rainier Brewing Company. Let's hear it for him. Mr. Bruce Vaughn of the Rainier Brewing Company, sponsor of the 1990 Rainier Cup. Bruce?
Thank you. We at Rainier Brewing are very proud to be, again, the sponsor of the Rainier Cup and Seafair in Seattle. I would now like to introduce Norm Rice. Have Norm present the Rainier Cup to Chip Hanauer. You might take off your coat. I'll leave this on. Protect this. Norm, the Rainier Cup.
This has been one wonderful crowd for Seafair. I think we have to compliment everybody. This has to be one of the largest crowds that we've ever had. I also want to thank all the Seafair officials and everybody involved in making this a wonderful day. But most of all, the Northwest's favorite son has come through again with the Circus. And on behalf of the city of Seattle and all those here, we give you what you deserve, the best applause and the best trophy for doing a job well done. I got it. All right. All right, nice day in Seattle, eh? It was, the cup is safe in Seattle one more time. I really want to thank the Rainier Brewing Company for sponsoring the race. It's a real reach for them, and there's a lot of bigger corporations that would love to have it, but it's a Seattle corporation. It was won by a Seattle boat today with a Seattle crew and celebrated with a Seattle crowd on a great day. So I want to thank everybody all week long, especially everybody that was at the parade that was so encouraging, and most of all, I want to thank these guys who do all the thinking, and they do the hard part. I want to introduce them. This is Dave Bilwach. He'll introduce the rest of the team, but
These guys are like brothers to me. I love them. They work unbelievably hard, long, unglorious hours, but they're going to have a glorious night tonight. Thanks.
Well, I tell you, we're going to be somebody tonight, I think. Yeah, on behalf of the crew, it was a great day. We really enjoyed it. You know, just the crowd. I can't believe the Torchlight Parade. It's like the world's largest pep rally. You know, how many other pep rallies do you have in the world that are 10 miles long? But thanks for everybody, and on behalf of the crew, thanks for all your encouragement.
That's Dave Vilwalk, who is the crew chief, and he's got the whole crew up on stage. That's a funny line from the old days. We used to say that a lot in high school. Let's go out tonight and be somebody. He says the whole crew will be somebody tonight as they throw out Circus hats and the Circus winner.
It's been restored. It was put back in the water. An emotional day for a lot of people who had a chance to see it. And Ken Muscatel, what's been the reaction to the run today?
There were a lot of tears. There was a lot of emotion, a lot of joy. It was something that no one ever expected to happen again, and it happened. So who can say more?
Well, everybody had such a positive reaction to the running of the boat. Is there a chance this might become an annual thing? Can this happen? This is an historic boat, and you don't want it to get too much rough water on it, but what about that sort of thing?
Well, that's in the hands of the Museum of History and Industry. It was through their good graces that this boat hit the water, and as always, it's their decision, but we're ready anytime they're ready.
I'll tell you, it ran so well, a lot of people were saying, hey, that baby could probably come and run again.
Yeah, this boat's got a lot of power, and it doesn't weigh very much. It was a fast boat.
For you personally, you've been involved in this so much today, watching it on the water. What was going through your mind?
My memory is more like a smear. I remember it, but I'm not sure I was there. It was great. It was great.
Congratulations. It was a big success today. And now I think what we're going to do is take us from slow motion over to Rick and the Pringles camp. I'm standing here at the stern of the Pringles, and as you look up, you can see that both the vertical and the horizontal stabilizers are gone. The horizontal came in on the back of a patrol boat. The exhaust fan is completely dented up. George, was it rough water, or was it the race boat that broke?
I think it was a combination of both. You know, it's been rough all day long, and these wings up there get a real pounding around, and I noticed it right off the bat that the guys were talking to me on the radio, and they just said, hey, it looks like the wing's moving around, be careful, and then finally it just fell off.
How much control difference does that make? What can you feel when that happens?
Oh, the ride of the boat wasn't the greatest in the world out there today, but I'll tell you what, when that horizontal wing falls off, it really gets hairy out there.
Now, this is nothing structurally that would stop you or slow you down from going back to Milwaukee.
No, this is nothing. We've got extra wings. This is not something that happens all the time, but it's fairly common. All the other teams have lost 1 or 2 wings, and we just happened to be our turn today.
You told me you were a little bit back on the start. Did you get trapped back, or did you just bad judgment at that time?
I think it was just one of those things that everybody was early and they slid out a little bit, and I was looking for a hole to go through the middle, and it wasn't there, so I went outside, and I was you know, it wasn't a bad start, but I like to have my starts right up. If I'm not the first one there, then I figure my start wasn't right.
Well, thank you very much. We'll go back to you now, Wayne.
Thanks, Rick. Nice job today. You and Steve and Rod as well here in the pits. And we'll go to a break and come right back for a final look at Lake Washington on race day 1990.